Hey, Norm.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Doing well, doing well. Of course, we've been together this morning already.
Yeah, I've been out on the
Been
range.
out on the range doing some shooting.
That's right.
Yep, yep.
So, what was all of that about out
Well,
there?
we were reenacting to a certain ability the assassination attempt of President Trump.
Right.
And of course, the gentleman, and I use that word loosely, the assassin, supposedly used an AR, and the information that we have and the information we don't have, the information we do have makes me believe or understand that he was using a Prism EOTech like red dot sight
Right.
versus a scope rifle. And so we went out and compared the accuracy of the standard AR with nothing special and a non-magnifying prism sight versus a standard, or I should say even a low-end hunting rifle with a low-end scope to
Right.
demonstrate the effectiveness of the AR in a sniper situation versus a standard low-end hunting rifle in a similar situation. And the range that we were shooting at was 140 yards, which is right in between the numbers that I've heard for the distance of him to Trump, which is 130 yards on one hand and 150 on the other.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I think the
Where's
one
that
I've I think the one I've heard most consistently in the reports I've heard is 137 yards.
Right. But I've also
Which is-
heard that explained as meters, which would also make it around 150 yards.
Right.
So, but we split the difference right at 140 yards to do our demonstration.
And one of the things I did while we were out there is I recorded Chris as he walked out to the target and walked back, just to demonstrate how close this guy actually was to the president.
Yes, because 150 yards, as you can see from our demonstration, is not a difficult shot with the proper equipment.
Now, I know this is, days later, and there's been all kinds of theories come out about, how it was allowed to happen and all these things that happened. But the absolute fact of the matter, indisputable fact of the matter, whatever the different theories are, whatever, that a would-be assassin was allowed to get within 150 yards of the President of the United States. I don't care, you say former president, whatever. He's the President of the United States, okay? Was able to get that close to the President of the United States. Isn't there a federal agency that is supposed to prevent that from happening?
I don't know.
Seems like I've heard of
I've
one.
heard rumor of such a thing, but I don't know
It's
if they existed. You would think that such a thing couldn't take place.
You would think that such a thing couldn't take place.
Especially from the most obvious vantage point for somebody to take a shot. You would think that some agency would go to lengths to make sure that that location wasn't available for a bad guy to get on top of.
That's, one of the things that is just astonishing to me is all of the blame that has taken place from the Secret Service. Blaming local law enforcement. Well, local law enforcement was tasked
with traffic.
to look. If you went to just the local mom and pop security agency in this little small town, if they have one, and you went and you got them to do an assessment of that site to say, okay, where do we need to make sure that it's secure? Joe Bob on his tractor would have looked at that building and said, well, you need to have somebody up there for sure.
Any hunter, big game hunter with any experience would be able to state that as being the most obvious position. And I don't why it was allowed to be used by the bad guy, whether it was negligence or by intentional of leaving it open, which unfortunately to me, I don't think I'll ever be convinced either way, because there are too many situations of them intentionally targeting Trump for me to entirely discount the possibility of them allowing it to occur.
Well, you remember what Pelosi said in an interview, it's been several months ago, and they were talking about, what's going to happen if Trump gets back, because, that's just such a horrible thought for them that the world is going to end if Trump gets back in office. And they talk like it's just going to be this catastrophic event. So
it will be for their agenda. That's what they're terrified of.
So this reporter asked Pelosi, what's going to happen if Trump gets back in office? And Pelosi very confidently says
he won't be back in office.
It's not possible that he's going to get back in office. And everybody looked at not only what she said, but the way she said it, how confidently she said that.
Right, yes.
And I remember then, and this has been several months ago, people saying, well, what does Nancy know?
You mean almost as confidently as when Biden said something would happen to Nord Stream pipeline? Almost that confidently, you mean? Like something's going to happen to it? No, we don't know what, but something's going to happen to it.
Kind of like Biden saying about 18 hours prior that, well, if there was a medical condition, I would step down. 18 hours later, he's diagnosed with COVID. Okay, well, maybe that kind of thing.
Well, we'll see how that pans out. But anyway, back to the shooting. Supposedly, the individual used an AR. There are facts that we don't know.
That's right.
Don't know which ammo he used. Don't exactly know what sight he used, although the information that I've heard so far is that it was a non-magnifying EOTech prism kind of a sight. So we duplicated that.
Just a quick question. Between a scope and when you see the footage of our out on the range a little earlier this morning, I'm going to run that footage here in just a minute, but that was my first time shooting a long rifle through a magnified scope. First
long range rifle. You mean a long range hunting rifle through a scope with magnification?
Through a magnified scope. So I was just wondering because it does take a little while to get on. Well, for me it did because it was my first time.
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm sure you could get on target a lot quicker with it because you're used to using it. But with the AR red dot style scope. Now the one we used was that same kind of scope.
Right.
But,
a different name brand, most likely.
Right. But with that kind of scope, is it even called a scope? Is it optic?
Yeah, optic.
Okay, so with that kind of optic, it just seems to me that it's faster and easier to get on target, even though
it's most efficient at close range.
Right. Okay.
That's its point is speed and close in range.
Right. Not
which is actually where the AR is most effective.
Right.
Its extended range is considered, for the standard GI AR, my understanding is around 300 yards. Right. Now, of course, you can hit it further distance than that, but when
so I'm practiced with that, raising that red dot and, kind of like iron sights, you raise the sight and get it on, works kind of the same way, right?
Right.
You raise the red dot, you get on target. So, might that have had something to do with why he used that? Because, getting up there, he was going to need to raise it and get on target kind of quick.
I don't.
As opposed to a scope.
I don't know. He certainly seemed like to have enough time.
Absolutely. That's astonishing.
But
astonishing.
But the other thing too is that I can't say that it would take you any faster at that distance to line up a shot than with the scope. I would even say it would be faster to line up a shot with a scope at that distance than with a non-magnifying optic.
Right, because at that distance he would have had it opened up.
Well, there's right. Well, if you're using a scope, we shot our distant shots on 9 power on a very inexpensive 3x9 variable scope.
Right.
Everything. This is the arrangement that we used for our demonstration purposes. This is a low-end hunting rifle. This is a Savage 308 bolt action with a Bushnell illuminated reticle, standard scope, nothing fancy about this outfit at all. This is a low-end arrangement. This is actually owned by a friend of mine, my wife's friend, who uses it for hunting. She's a massage therapist, but this is her gun that we used.
And that would be just the average hobby hunter's
I would say below average. I mean, this is the low end of what's out there, and that's the reason why I chose it. I mean, I got match grade sniper quality. I mean, I've got a 308 SSG heavy barreled Steyr with double set triggers. I didn't use that for this. I used just this standard, normal, low wind setup for our demonstration. And let me show some of our results here real quick. If I open that bolt. This was shot at the 140-yard range that we set up. This is with the scoped. Pull this back up.
The bottom circle.
The bottom circle.
I'll hold the target.
So bottom scope 308 zeroed. This is zeroed at 100 yards.
Right.
And this was shot at 140. Not much difference in the point of impact. AR was done with standard military ball penetrating ammo. Y'all should know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with guns. If not, it's considered the penetrating ball ammo the military uses. It's designed, like I said, to penetrate. Accuracy is not its forte. As you can see, this is a much bigger group.
Right.
Now we got one in the bull, we got one here, and this one kind of a flyer. We did have some mechanical problems occur during the shooting where semi-auto stopped functioning. We got it back to the shop and figured out what was wrong with it, but it did slow us down. But I didn't have another rifle with a prism setup, so we muddled our way through it to demonstrate the shots, and we shot at some fruit to show the effectiveness of the impact of these hitting. Now, I don't know what ammo the gentleman used. I mean, you could use varmint ammo in a 223 that's much more reactive than ball ammo and considerably more accurate, but I don't know that that's what he chose. So I chose a military ball ammo that's generally very common, and not what I would choose.
Right.
But the whole point of this is to demonstrate that this is a more effective tool for what the bad guy was shooting versus this, which was shooting.
Oh, but that one's a whole lot more scarier.
Oh, well, it's terrifying, especially when you look at its effects are inaccurate and they suck. Yeah, how terrifying it is. Matter of fact,
that's the point, right?
That's the point.
Everybody is saying, these terrible, scary ARs. We got to ban these ARs. But look, just like you said, a below average, typical, very common hunting rifle would have been the much more effective tool.
Right? Yes.
Not that we're giving advice.
No, we're not.
We're making a point.
We're trying to teach that this is not the all-killing weapon that it's made out to be. It's effective for certain situations, and more knowledgeable people can make better use of it than others. But still, for the purposes of what the bad guy was trying to do, he wasn't using the best tool available to him.
That's right.
And a more effective tool was available to him, probably considerably cheaper than what he had in his AR, just guessing.
What would be the price difference between those two rifles?
I have seen this rifle right now for sale. I can pull it up for roughly $400, somewhere in that range. The scope is around $100, something like that. I haven't purchased any of these components in a little while. I don't own one of these rifles. Like I said, this was borrowed because it's a low wind rifle that I don't own myself. Although I will probably acquire one. It's not bad. It's it's effective and it works.
I enjoyed shooting it.
Yeah, and if I have somebody come from out of town to hunt with me, this would be a good loaner gun to let them take out in the woods. And there's absolutely nothing special about the AR that we used. It does have a stainless barrel, which in theory shoots more accurately under certain circumstances than a chromoly because it cuts smoother with less deviation inside the rifling that makes the bullet twist that gives you your stability.
Right.
I don't know anything about the bad guy's chosen barrel. If it was a chosen barrel,
So what would that build cost right there?
As
You've got it configured right there to build that AR.
$600 or $700.
So you're talking about a price difference of about $300.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes. In a used configuration, almost twice as much for this.
and probably that hunting rifle would be easier to get your hands on than this AR.
Well, depending on where you live, yes.
Okay. I
So,
mean, you could probably get that rifle right there at Walmart, right?
one similar to it, one equal in quality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So you're not going to get that at Walmart.
No, you're not going to get this at Walmart.
Yeah.
Nor some of the more popular sporting goods. I think Dick's
Right.
doesn't carry any firearms anymore.
Right.
So, and they've lost business too, by the way.
That's right. Okay, so
We tested two things. We tested accuracy and effectiveness against targets.
right.
And you'll be able to see the difference between a 308 hunting bullet versus a military ball penetrating bullet.
Right. And I got some practice for when I get to go deer hunting with you for the first
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. It sounds good.
So here's the footage from the range test.
Now I'm going to the 140-yard target, bottom bull.
Okay, so this is the shot. This is the shooter shot.
Yeah, this is the demonstration of the 308 at roughly the distance of the shooter between. We've heard estimates of 130 to 150 yards,
Yeah.
and so we're right at 140, which is right in between the two
Right.
numbers that we've been given.
Right.
So, and I'm going to take 3 shots to demonstrate group size with a standard hunting rifle. I'm taking the shot at 140 yards, standard hunting rifle, standard hunting ammo, low wind rifle, by the way, Savage. So, all right, here we go. 3-shot group, 140 yards. Duplicating the attempted assassin shot.
As some sort of human goat that you can navigate slope roof without falling off of it? I am part goat. Okay. Yes, people have said that. You're
That's it.
They didn't have one of those in the Secret Service. And could they get one? And here's the thing, if you're worried about your person falling off the roof, maybe you station them, I don't know, at the ladder that leads to the roof, so that if anybody starts to climb up and you say, excuse me, sir, you with the AR-15 go.
I didn't see that one. The first one was a hit, though. I saw that one.
I'm sure that one's in there too.
Didn't need the ladder. There's a ladder already there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky we get about this with you. I know. We did. Somebody died. Yeah, that's true too. It's really sad. I will say it does get lost, and it's really sad. Really sad because here's a father who's defending his family's life, and he. We're in critical condition now to serious condition and stable, so that seems like there might be a recovery.
So
there.
this is the standard deer hunter's rifle 308 or 30-06.
This is the 308.
308. So this is what people on any given weekend during hunting season go out and shoot deer with.
Right. Yes.
Which would have been a far better option.
Then an AR, as we're fixing to demonstrate by shooting the AR. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate the standard AR arrangement. Nothing fancy about my AR that I have set up. Supposedly, for the information I currently have, it matches. There's nothing special about this AR. It's a general configuration. It does have a stainless barrel, but certainly not match grade. The ammo is standard a military ball ammo. I won't specify which one, but it'll penetrate. I'll make that statement. So I don't want to tell any would-be shooter how to do it right. That's not what I'm demonstrating what happens with somebody with a lack of knowledge and how ineffective a poor setup makes things.
Right.
2 more then. 5-shot group's pretty normal, so we'll take 5 shots at it. All right, so to demonstrate the effects of bullet impact, we are shooting some melons. Not to say that Trump's a melon head, but we have melons and they're about head size. So we're trying to demonstrate the difference between the standard AR ball ammo versus a hunting bullet from a standard hunting rifle. All right, first shot is with the AR. This is once again military ball. I'm going for the watermelon on the left, next to the cantaloupe, okay?
All right.
Well, I hit it.
You hit it.
I want to change to
308.
the 308 for. I was surprised it did that much as it did, to be honest. But then again, watermelons aren't known for being tough either.
Yeah, right. You shooting the same watermelon?
No, I'm gonna go for the other melon on the other side. One melon with the 308, and the melon previously with the AR. We set?
Yep.
Ready?
Ready. Mercy. Not much left of that melon.
See?
See? Wow. Big difference.
Yep, big difference. All right, what else? Next target.
You want to take the rest of the melon that the AR didn't get?
Well, I'm back to the AR now.
Okay.
So, all right, cantaloupe on the far left.
Okay, I was going to say the cabbage would be the most challenging one.
Right. Well, I'm trying to compare fruit to fruit. We got
Yeah.
pears, so that's what I'm. I'm not even sure it contacted. Well, let's go down and take a look.
See if you
Anyway,
hit it.
and make sure I don't have a
whole board through it.
So I'm going to shoot the other cantaloupe now with 308. And then we'll take the mic with us and show once again the difference. You set?
Ready.
My ear's coming out. Wow.
That one just eliminates the melon altogether, doesn't
Did you
it?
see? I mean, it blew a chunk.
I saw it, yeah, all the way to the top of the dam.
Oh. Let's make some coleslaw. Cabbage is not there. It must have fallen. I
No,
see it
it's there
underneath.
on the far right.
Yep. Oh, far right? Oh, that is. Okay. Set?
Yep.
Okay. Coleslaw. All right, let's walk down there.
So while we walk down there, just, give a rundown of what we've done so far.
Okay, we've taken.
Go over the ammo you're using and why you're using that particular ammo.
The ammo that I'm using for the AR is a standard military ball penetrator. People who know guns know what I'm talking about. The ammo I'm shooting, 308, is a hollow point hunting bullet. That's what I'm utilizing for that.
That's what somebody would use going out deer hunting any
Yes.
given
Yes.
weekend.
Yes. Deer or any other animal that you intend to shoot with a 308. Now, if I was using a 308 for an elk or a larger animal,
Let's stop here.
I've got copper bullets, copper expanding bullets that I shoot. The ones that I'm shooting here are lead core for the demonstration purposes of expansion. So I'm using what would be considered a thin-skinned medium game bullet for the 308 and the standard ball ammunition for the AR.
Where's the
Entrance? The way it exploded, it probably didn't
Probably
hit.
went in here.
Yeah, I probably didn't hit the. Of course, it could have shifted from hitting too.
Look at
So,
that. Let
yeah.
the camera see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the way.
Cabbage.
Here's
Coleslaw.
Here's the entrance of the AR bullet on the watermelon. There's the entrance of that one.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Point it at the camera.
Hold it.
The entrance wound there.
Entrance there.
Exit wound.
Exit wound there.
Wow.
But that's with just a standard military ball ammo. So.
Stand it up so we can.
And
Hit it
another example: cantaloupe, entrance, exit, and the other cantaloupe. There's nothing to show you. The same with the other yellow watermelon. There's nothing to show you.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Other than a bunch of giblets on the ground.
Yep. And some of those giblets went a long way away.